So by flexing forward, leaning forward, pulling yourself up in this respect, you work the abdominals, which is in the front musculature here, and that by extending your back, by lifting up against gravity, you strengthen the lower back.
Muscle condition, equipment, athletic technique, they're all important aspects of the science of sports. But for maximum performance, you have to make them all work together. You have to go beyond physics and into the mind. Yes! See, I could have played pro ball.
Most people would assume that Hope Solo would be such a great goalkeeper because she has great muscular strength. What makes Hope Solo such a great goalie is a great brain that processes information extremely quickly, that gives her these lightning-fast reflexes, this ability to move so quickly, get to the ball. First, she has to see the ball. She needs to make a decision, which is taking place in the middle of the brain, and then she needs to say, I need to get moving. And remember, this is taking place in all less than a second.
Less than a second. It's amazing. Some call it quick reflexes, but what's actually happening with Hope are programmed motor patterns. So what does that mean? Well, let's see what takes place in Hope's brain as she blocks a shot. First, we have sensory input. When the ball is kicked by her opponent, her eyes send information into this part of her brain, the occipital cortex, telling it the direction the ball was kicked and the speed at which it's flying toward her. A moment later, this information is processed here in the premotor cortex, where motor decisions are made, like where the ball is going and whether it needs to be saved or blocked, whether she should jump or dive. Once she makes a decision, a signal is sent here to her motor cortex to fire the muscles and continuous feedback loops with the cerebellum to coordinate all her muscle actions. And finally, she pounces. The complexity of her coordinated movement is lightning fast. We've got things happening in the cerebral motor cortex, the spinal cord, motor nerves, muscles, sensory nerves, cerebellum, cerebrum, and back all over again, all before you can say Mississippi. Her brain is working so fast, it's like a supercomputer or a super-duper computer. But the funny thing is, she's thinking about it without ever realizing it. Just ask her. Nice stop. Hope, what goes through your mind when you do that?
You know, to be honest, I really don't think a whole lot. It just kind of happens. I focus on the ball, and the next thing you know, my body just reacts, and hopefully I make the save.
The computing functions of the mind never stop when a game is in play. When a deep fly ball is hit in baseball, the fielder moves to make the catch. But he rarely moves in a straight line. Usually, it's a gentle arc. Now, why is that? It's the same as when you throw a Frisbee to your dog. The dog's constantly making adjustments, taking a curved path because her position relative to the disc is always changing. Calculations are going on all the time. It's fascinating, isn't it, Tess? She's fascinating. In some sports, you have forever to think before you make a move.
In other sports, they don't even want you to talk while they're thinking. A golfer has to make all the same calculations as any other athlete before she makes a shot. Whether you're Hope Solo or Tiger Woods, when you're on top of your game, you're in the zone.
Good evening and welcome to In the Zone, the show that examines speed, dexterity, and mental quickness, the ingredients that add up to that intangible quality found in all great athletes and performers. Today we match Hope Solo, the goalie for the United States women's soccer team, with video store clerk Craig Baker. Let's see who's in the zone. The ball is getting close to the goal. Hope gets in position. Oh, let's check with Craig.
What a lame choice. Orson Welles.
Reflexes, training, and lightning-fast decision-making. The hallmarks of a great athlete.
You want to try this? This is excellent.
Join us next week on In the Zone.
When you're shot putting, just for example, what are you thinking about?
As little as possible.
Now, everybody says that, as little as possible.
Yeah.
Is that the zone?
That is really the zone. You know, at that point in time, you've practiced the movement, 5.7 million times. So you got to know it by then. One would think. So at that point, it's a matter of just getting in the ring and just going blank and just letting it happen.
How do you get in the zone?
It took years of me training and learning how to actually quiet my mind. So at a young age, everybody would say, you got to get psyched up. But when you get to the Olympic level, not too many people are psyched up, the ones that do well. They're the ones that are kind of quiet.
Now, what about the role of the crowd?
The crowd is immense. You take on their energy. There's energy that's directed towards you. They're kind of supporting you. And in that support, it just kind of gives you this little extra sense of, I can do it.
We've talked a lot about the physics, the science of sports, but there's still a mystery. Why do we play sports? I mean, look at us. We spend billions of dollars every year on stadia, on uniforms, on player salaries, on merchandise. Why is that? I mean, are modern sporting events just the same kind of thing, a modern recreation of when our tribe met the other tribe from down the trail at that clearing in the woods? We got together to see who was better at throwing stones? Or is it more than that? I think we're obsessed with sports because we don't know what's going to happen. It's the ultimate drama. What's more exciting than the last hole? The players are tied neck and neck, and one of them just hit a birdie and the other one's just teeing off. What's more exciting than the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs? You're at the plate, 2 strikes, and runners in scoring position, and 1 hit, and you win the game. What's more exciting than to be down by 2 points and your team's got the ball at the 3-point line, and there's 2 seconds on the clock, and he turns and he shoots? Nothing's more exciting. You see, the thing about sports is we don't know how it's going to end till it ends. It's not over until it's over. That's the passion, beauty, and joy of athletic competition. Well, if you excuse me, there's a game on. I'll see you next time on The Eyes of Nye. Hit it where they ain't. And you shouldn't be yelling this loud at a golf course.
We've covered a lot of ground, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Check out eyesofnye.org for more cool science.